Aloha. I'm Dr. Reeves because I have a PhD in ecology, which makes me an expert at pattern recognition. I read tarot for you, people who are going through divorce situations, because I've been in your shoes for the past decade and I know how hard it is, and that's why I show up here. Today we're going to do a pick-a-card reading where the 3 piles you can choose from are the one leaving, the one being left, and should I stay or should I go? Okay, and I'm going to show you all of those right now and show you the specific crystals I'm working with for your energy. I came into your energy today and it was really shaky, and I think a lot of that had to do with my intent to read specifically for these 3 groups of people where I just know the stress of it and I've been there for so long. So, okay, let me show you. Here's the first pile. We're gonna work with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. We are resourcing you with this beautiful Smoky Quartz. Smoky Quartz is a grounding stone. It contains, it actually turns this color because of radioactive influences on the stone. So I love the symbolism of it, the crystal taking something dangerous and making it something safe by solidifying it. You also have Pyrite. This is an energy for me of I'm rubber and you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. All my readings have timestamps. If you just want to skip to your appropriate pile, you can find that in the description box below and go ahead. This is the pile for I'm being left. We have some black tourmaline. It's also a very protective stone. I have it tied in my hair. You can put it over your windowsills for protection or carry it around in your left pocket. And I have an old Hawaiian kukui nut that I found on the beach in Hawaii that obviously spent years and years in the surf, and see how beautiful it is? Draw inspiration from that. Life is a grinding stone. It either wears you down or polishes you up. Choose the latter. Okay, that is pile 1, the pile of who's being left. Pile 2, we're gonna go over here. This is the pile of I'm leaving. F it, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm filing for divorce. Piss and vinegar. You are finding yourself after a relationship that has been keeping you from being you for way too long. You have a stone, rose quartz of heart healing. Get you one of these little balls, put it in your jog bra or your left pocket, your breast pocket. I have a Tangerine quartz, which is sacral chakra, creativity, what you came here to do. You're feeling that burning in your belly. And to solidify you and anchoring your decisions, we have the cinnamon quartz, root chakra, tying you into the soul of Mother Earth. Oops. Okay, and we're reading from Tarot of the Trees for your pile today. Pile 3, should I stay or should I go? You are in the midst of making the most difficult and gut-wrenching decision of your entire life, and I feel for you. I was there for quite a few years before I finally made it over to pile 2. Especially if you have children. It's just so hard to break everything, which is why I have this beautiful tower of bismuth for you, which you'll notice natively it's not standing upright, and so we're needing to get it to a point where it stands upright, and I have it perched on this beautiful piece of fluorite, rainbow fluorite. I have a citrine to help you with your confidence and your solar plexus chakra. And I have a crucifix because this is the energy and the symbolism of the Western world of forgiveness. This is what I want to say to you, should I stay or should I go? if at all possible, for your soul and your heart and your solar plexus and your foundations and your children, you should stay. Because divorce is probably going to be the worst thing you will ever go through in your entire life. That said, if you're in an abusive relationship, which I was, with children, which I had, there was no choice. And you also need to make ultimately a decision for yourself. And you came here for you. You came here to learn your lessons from your heart, what your soul put you on this path to make the choices you did up until this point. But your job is to love yourself and love yourself some more, as Christopher Witecki says. So with that, we're going to get into your reads. Okay, pile 1. I'm starting with you today because your energy is the most shaky, scattered, and fractious. And that is understandable because something is happening to you that is not in your control. As humans, we all love control. We come here for agency, independence, self-knowledge, and control. So, buckle up. I'm gonna get into your shuffle. I do shuffle, but you will be able to skip it in the timestamps if you just want to trust me and hear your messages. You can skip to the beginning of the reading below. For those being left in a divorce, those being left, oh no, you're a super loving person. Why is this happening to you? I'm so sorry. Okay, atmosphere, thank you. Oh, so shaky. Hierophant. He can help or he cannot help sometimes. Can I get the cross current? Cross current, thank you. Okay, well, it's good you're reining that in a little bit. Can't stave them off forever, but the Knight of Swords is showing up in reverse for you. Let's get the passing away, thank you. Yeah. That's true. You probably have been ignoring your intuition on this for a while. I'm sorry. Let's see what we can do to get our intuition into the upright through this reading. Can I get the near future, please? I need to tell you, given that I just pulled your passing away and your near future cards, what I am and what I am not. I have a PhD in ecology, not psychology. That means I am not a counselor of any kind. I'm here to provide you emotional resources, but I cannot take the place of serious mental health assistance. And if you need that, which you very well may at this point, there is no shame in seeking it out. Ditto on legal assistance. I do not provide legal advice of any kind. If you need a lawyer, and I feel for you if you do, you need to go get one. Okay. I also am a tarot reader. That allows me to connect to your energy. I'm an ecologist. We study patterns. I'm an empath. And it took me until, which means I feel feelings very intensely and I can feel other people's feelings. It took me until age 50 to realize this was a feature, not a bug. So now I'm working with both of these skill sets to help resource you by reading tarot for you, which allows me to tap into the current energies of the people I read for and tell you a story about your situation. I use the cards. Every card has a meaning. Every placement in the deck has a meaning. Or every placement on the spread has a meaning, and I use the cards to tell you a story about your situation. So can I get the self-concept, please? Self-concept, please. Thank you. For family law being left. Oh, yes. Oh, you totally feel this way. Oh, ow. Okay. We're going to get her into the upright, okay? We're going to get her into the upright. Can I get the hopes and fears cards? Thank you for being left. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can't wait to go through this reading with you. It's really going to give you a lot of insight. Okay. Can I get the sky card, please, for being left? Thank you. Oh, you have some great cards. Okay. Can I get the root card for being left? Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I know, but you're not actually trapped. You just feel like you're trapped. Okay, can I get the house card, please, for those being left? House card for those being left, please. If somebody's important, thank you. Nice. Well, right on. You're gonna love this. If you don't know tarot, this reading is very powerful already. Of course, because your energy is like, wow. The cards are here to resource you. So am I. Okay, can I get the path to the outcome, please, for those being left? Thank you. Can I get the path to the outcome, please, for those being left today? Those being left. All my readings are timeless for tarot. If I start talking about astrology, jeez. We'll get you a couple more after that. If I start talking about astrology, that typically is dated. But the tarot, it's just not how time and space works. We don't understand how time and space works the way that it actually does. So we're beginning to understand, I think, with like quantum mechanics and stuff. Okay, you're showing up today. Who you are at the time of this reading is the Queen of Cups. You are a beautiful, emotional, deep feeling, loving person. You're a nurturing spirit. You love your people. All you want to do is love them and give to them. And so you don't understand why the Empress, who is the ultimate creator of everything, is showing up as upside down in your self-concept. These cards are very compatible, except that the Empress is a major arcana who embodies the energy of all the queens. She's pregnant. She has a symbol of Venus all over her gown. She can create anything just by being herself, but you're showing up in the reverse. As a reader, I do read reversals. What that means is the energy of the card is always here for you if it shows up, but if it's showing up in reverse, then the energy is blocked, it's held back, or it's turned inward. So you are the Empress. You're just feeling like you're not the Empress, which is completely understandable. Your spouse is leaving you and has filed for divorce or is about to. This is a horrible feeling, especially when you know who you are. You're this beautiful, loving person. Why is this happening to you? Let's figure it out. It's happening to you in part because you're passing away. You have the High Priestess in reverse. The High Priestess is the card of intuition. It's the card of the divine feminine, of going within, of trusting your gut and your intuition and the things that you know without external validation. And you've been ignoring it for a bit too long. So let's get her into the upright because she guides us. Sometimes in our Western culture, we've been taught not to trust our intuition. But that is an artifact of power systems that wanted to take our power away. Let's get back in the age of Aquarius to having our own personal power. And you have a really good step in that with having the Magician. You have all these majors. This is a big deal reading. The Magician hanging over your reading. He controls all four suits of the tarot. The four suits of the tarot are swords, which are the mental, pentacles, which are the earth, cups, which are the emotions, and wands, which are the fire. He holds all those tools to create anything he wants. He just has to be able to know what it is and trust that you're going to get there. He's going to help the Empress get back in the upright, and so is the High Priestess. And I think she's the key. Going within, finding your intuition, figuring out your own heart, not everybody else's heart, because as the Queen of Cups, you probably take care of everybody else. And ironically, that's actually the source of your problem, even though you've been taught your whole life to take care of everybody else. So it's definitely not your fault. In your Hopes and Fears card, and this is a major reality as well, you have the Death card. Now, don't freak out if you don't know about tarot. The Death card is about permanent, irrevocable change. It's not about physical death. It's about transformation. It's about death and rebirth. You're holding back on it. Your card was reversed. You don't want this to happen. However, it is happening, and I'm sorry. However, it's going to lead to something better because, like my little bismuth here, your tower was built on an unstable foundation, and it's going to need to fall. And indeed, that is your outcome. is the Tower. So you can't really hold back on the Death. Your best bet for your own mental health, because acceptance is the key to happiness, is to accept what's going on, go with the flow, flow with the go. I am quoting Jimmy from the Tarot Ship with Jimmy. He provides great resources. Please check him out. He's a bang up tarot reader and he does astrology too. Okay, so we've worked through some of the most difficult energies. Let's talk about some of the other ones. You have the Knight of Swords in your cross current. So he's showing up in reverse. So you have a bit of time. The Knight of Swords is the fastest moving die in the deck. If you look at this picture in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, he is moving so fast, thrusting his ideas into the air. He will fight for his ideas. He is going to fight hard for what he thinks is right. He doesn't really feel anything. Even his horse is afraid of him. Look at the eyes of the horse. So, yeah. At least he's held back. He's working against you, but he's not at full power, so we'll leave him there. In your near future, you have a messenger, an emotional message coming in from a younger person, and I don't anticipate you're going to be particularly happy about that. Again, go with the flow, flow with the go. Acceptance is the key to happiness. Okay, in your root, you have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is a card of mental anguish. It's known as the self-victim card, the toilet paper torture card, according to Perfectly Imperfect Tarot with green eyes. If you look closely at this card, she looks like she's in a real pickle, but she's actually not, and that's the point of this card. She's blindfolded, so she's not seeing things correctly. She's surrounded by swords, but they're not actually walling her in. But because she's not seeing things correctly, she doesn't realize she can just turn in a different direction and walk away. And it looks like she can't walk away, but she is not actually tied to anything. She could wriggle out of these ties if only she could get her mind straight. And that is the point of this card. So let's do what we can do to get our mind straight. And I'm going to pull you a few more resource cards. At least one that I can think of. And in your house card, you got the Justice. Yay! This is who and what is showing up for you at the time of the reading. So let's have faith that you will get justice in this situation. Okay, it's not going to be easy. It is going to be permanent and irrevocable change. It is going to be something that wasn't working, being shaken from its unsolid foundations and falling. That's the point of the Tower, and that is what you got in your outcome. Things are changing. They are changing. A resource on your way is the King of Swords. He is the ultimate king of truth. He looks you straight in the eye. He's the only king that does. He is not afraid to tell his own truth, and he is not afraid to use his sword. I don't mean that in a violent way. I mean his sword of intellect, because swords are the mental suit. And I believe that he is going to help you get your justice, which is showing up for you in the position, the house position. So if you're reading about somebody else, in your case, I think you're reading about the legal system because you're about to go through it, or you're going through it, you're going to get your justice. You must speak your truth. And you must speak it like the King of Swords, not like the Knight of Swords, not like rushing in and screaming and yelling and fighting and aggressive. Hold him back, okay? You have to be him, not him. He learned by being him for many years. These are all just energies. It's not like this is a male or female reading. All people have male and female energies. Okay, so I want to pull you a couple resources to get you through your Tower and find your justice. Okay, this is the 4 Agreements. It's a book. They made it into a deck. It's pretty cool. It gives you actual words. Let's get some resources for those being left, please. Tell me resource, please, of those who are being left in this reading today, please. Thank you. A couple more. Any more messages, please? Thank you. Do one more pass through because I feel like you need it. Oh, I got another one. Actually, we'll do the other one. Okay. Don't make assumptions. Be aware of unconscious assumptions. Assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously, most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. See, that's what the Knight of Swords does. He makes assumptions and then he fights for them. But you've heard the term, if you assume, it makes an A55 out of you and me. Okay. Assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or how we feel. Don't make assumptions that people know. Tune into your intuition, but also be the King of Swords and be brave enough to speak your heart and speak your truth and ask questions so you can get your justice. Your word is the power that you have to create. It is a gift that comes directly from God. Be impeccable with your word. Realize the power of your word. Exactly. Realize the power of your word. The King of Swords realizes the power of every single word he speaks, and he chooses them wisely because of this. Be impeccable with your word. Let go of self-judgment and blame. That is putting your Empress into the upright. She's feeling responsible for something you don't have control at this point. You can only control yourself. You cannot control anybody else's behavior in this world. That is a fundamental lesson of life. Being impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself for anything, and you reflect that in your truth. So let's get your Empress in the upright. Oh, and I didn't talk about your Hierophant is in your atmosphere. This is a huge major arcana. You have a lot of majors. This is a big deal. The Hierophant is the high priest. He is institution, structure, dogma, but he is also wise, and he knows the history and the lore and what all of humanity has taught. So he's in your atmosphere. That's show up, do some research, do some spiritual research. Go, if you are religious or spiritual, go seek out those religious and spiritual teachers. And they might find them in surprising ways. If you just found me and you don't know about the tarot, yeah, there's a Gnostic saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So look for those teachers in the spiritual plane. Get yourself back into your intuition, knowing that you're creative and abundant, that like the magician shows you, you can create anything. And because of that, you're going to weather this transition, get your justice, and move on to building something that's a more stable and solid foundation. With that, I wish you peace. I wish you love. I wish you calm. Get you some Smoky Quartz. Aloha pile 2. You are the ones making, or who have just made, the decision to leave your marriage. Your energy is also shaky, but in a more excited and high cortisol, but there's a fundamental excitement to you because you know that you are leaving the past behind and you're ready to start something new. And bless your heart, let's get into your reading. You can always skip my shuffle. Some people like to watch the shuffle, but in the timestamps you can skip it. So we're going to move your crystals gently to the side. One thing I was called to say to you is these are my original paintings. I was called to encourage you to find a creative outlet because it'll help to ground you during what you're going through. So can you, if you have something you like to do, like read or write or paint or draw or something creative, not just to burn the energy, that helps too. Like physical outlets are critical to manage these kind of high cortisol years, or hopefully less. But But you're in this for a bit. If you're going through a divorce, if you can mediate, I encourage you to do that. If you can just reach an agreement with your spouse and they'll agree, I highly encourage you to do that. The system is absolutely broken. And it's a nightmare. So just know that you're not alone. Know that you are actually with a community of people. It's just that because this is like such an alienating situation, you often don't feel resourced. You feel alienated. There's conflict. People don't get it. People don't understand why you're so upset all the time. It's really, really, really a challenging situation. Ooh, I love that those guys came out for you. This is so great. Okay. I'm going to start actually naming cards because they're coming out in clusters, which is fine, but I want to be a little more focused. Can I get the cross current, please, for the leavers? I am leaving my marriage. I'm leaving my marriage. Can I get what's working against this group today, please? Thank you. Oh my God, this is literally the cross current in those being left pile too. That's what's working against you. Yours is in the upright though. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Okay. Can I get the self-concept, please, for those leaving their marriages today? Ah, thank you. Oh my God. Oh, come on. No, we're not taking all those. We're not taking them all. We're not. We're getting so many freebies. Okay. Self-concept. I'm gonna leave these in your hopes and fears. That's where they fell. A lot of swords, a lot of swords, a lot of mental energy, a lot of thoughts, a lot of active thoughts. Let's get resourced with our feelings. Feelings, not thoughts, okay? And I'll show you how to do this. It's definitely in your spread. Can I get the passing away card for the leavers, please? Passing away, please, for the leavers. Thank you. Nice. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Can I get the near future card for the leavers? The near future card. Let me take a minute to tell you what I am not. I'm not a fortune teller. I do not predict the future. I have a PhD in ecology, not in psychology. If you are in need of serious mental assistance, which there is no shame in that at this point, please go seek it out. Ditto with legal assistance. If you need legal assistance, and I feel for you if you do, please find a qualified lawyer who is willing to help you get what you need in the incredibly broken and dysfunctional family law system. I'm also a tarot reader. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't predict the future. What I do with the tarot is I'm also an empath. It allows me to check in with your energy, the current energy around your situation. Time and space do not work the way we think they are, so these tarot readings are timeless readings. If I start talking about astrology, that is not timeless, so you can ignore those parts. Okay. So can I get the near future card for the leavers? Woo! That one had a lot of energy. Oh, yeah. Of course it did. That's good. Yeah, you do need that. Good, 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 good. You have some cards that are definitely going to show you the way to get out of all this mental energy. Can I get the root card for those leaving their marriage? Please, the root card for those leaving their marriage. Please, can I get the root card for those leaving? The root. Thank you. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yep, you're all done. You are all done. But you have to keep going. So that's okay. You're gonna do that by getting better mentally resourced than you have ever been in your life. And emotionally resourced. And that's what I'm here to help you with. Can I get the house card, please, for those leaving their marriage? Thank you. That's good. That's good. Focus on your job. You're gonna need something to distract your busy, busy mind from the things you're going through. Okay, can I get the path to the outcome, please? Thank you. Very good. Can I get the path to the outcome, please? talk the outcome, please. Awesome. Love it. Love it, love it. I apologize for the audio. It's busy at my mom's house. I don't usually record here, but I did want to get a recording in for you. And I'm also working on a better microphone. It's coming the 19th of January. Okay. So you are showing up today as the Seven of Wands in reverse. The Seven of Wands is a card about finding your own inner leadership and coming out on top. It's in reverse. So as a reader, I read reversals. A card, when it shows up for you, the energy of the card is always there for you. But if it shows up in reverse and the energy is showing up as either blocked or directed inward or being expressed in a more yin or like feminine receptive way rather than an external outward way. And as a reader, I do go with how I feel about cards in addition to their meaning. I feel like you're struggling to find your own inner leadership, your own resources. You're feeling really excited, creative. Maybe you've been through the process of having a couple children. That process grows you up. You find yourself through going through some of the struggles that having children provides. So I think you are showing up here as having your own inner leadership, and you're really trying to find your way. And this is producing a lot of thought energy for you. Your self-concept is that you had an Ace of Swords. That is the initial idea. It's the aha moment. It's the breakthrough. You're not really comfortable in fully expressing that idea yet, which is okay. The sword suit is a process, and you came out with a lot of swords, which is really very heavy and challenging mental energy. And that's okay. Of course, you've got a lot on your mind. There's a lot of legal deadlines. There's a lot of things you have to write. There's a lot of papers you have to find. It is exhausting. And probably in addition to that, you are working in your job. You might be raising your kids all the time, half the time. You separated from your spouse. This is the most stressful thing you will ever go through in your life, so give yourself grace, okay? And you're going to come out of it an entirely different person than the one that went in. So, you also have the King of Swords in reverse. So let's talk about who's in the upright for you. You have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is said to be a widow. She earned her sword in 1909, which is when the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck came out, even though it fed off of games dating back to the 14th century with the tarot. The only women that had property rights were widows. And so the only woman that would have a sword, women were not given swords at this time. Women had to earn them. And so she sits in the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck looking to the side. She has her hand out, and it's a little bit of like, come to me, but if you lie to me, you are out. I am having you put out by him, the Knight of Swords. I direct him. So, the Knight of Swords, let's talk about him for a minute. He's in your cross current. He can be working for or against you. Sometimes if the cross current is a positive card, it actually is helping you, not hurting. So let's be mindful of his energy, because I think he could help or hurt. The Knight of Swords rushes in. He is so confident in an idea that he ignores everything else to bring that idea to bear. He can be domineering. He can be aggressive. He can say things that he might regret later. But he also can take the full passion and the earth and his emotions and put them behind an idea. He is throwing everything at this idea. So just make sure you vet your idea through your heart first. I don't see much heart in this reading. I only see the four of, oh, I see a few. Okay, no, this is good. Let's talk about your heart versus your mind. The way to deal with your ideas is to run them through the filter of your mind. Now, I am coming from a place where I did not realize what a feeling was until I was 50. I have a PhD in science. I'm a very brainy person. That is how I process things. So it was a real learning curve to understand what a feeling is. It's just anything you feel in your body. And then emotions are like a whole bunch of feelings piled on top of each other. And your job is to kind of like feel each of them individually and like sort through them. So I think your path through this, and you have some very positive cards here to resource you, and they're all, the majors are showing up around in your outcome and your passing away in your near future. So let's tune into the Queen of Swords energy of presenting things with cold, calm logic and reason, of knowing just in your heart that your ideas, once you have vetted them through the lens of your heart and what you wish for and how you feel, those are going to get you to these outcomes that you want. So let's talk about some of your majors. In the Sky card, you have the Justice in reverse. Yay, justice. Everybody in a legal reading wants to see this card. You are going to get your justice, but it is in reverse right now because you have a few lessons to learn along the way. The faster you learn them, the easier this will go for you. Acceptance is the key to lack of suffering. Okay? To get them into the upright, you need to do something you're not quite willing to do right now, and you need to be the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, this is called the inverted tree, but the card is the Hanged Man. The energy of the Hanged Man is taking a very intentional time out to change your perspective. It comes from the story of a guy who hung himself upside down on the tree of knowledge for 12 days to gain enlightenment. That needs to be you. So your job is to get him in the upright. You're coming out of an energy of strength being in reverse. The Strength card, often it is shown with a woman who is sticking her hand into the mouth of a lion. And the story of that is that she's not forcing the lion. Nobody can force a lion. She comes from a quiet place of calm and strength so that that lion trusts her to pull his ouchy tooth. Like the woman, the story of the lion with the thorn in his paw and the mouse that he lets take it out. That's the energy of the Strength card. And we get to the quiet strength by going within, by going through the struggles of the Suit of Swords. I actually do a teaching series since you have so many swords. I've gotten through all the swords. So you can click on my other playlist where I'll teach you more about each of these cards. Okay, so we have in your atmosphere, you've got the 8, 9, and 10 of Swords. It's unusual for all these to show up together like this. I'm not going to say it's entirely random, so I'm kind of treating these blocks as one because I just did that sword. So this deck might not have been super shuffled well, so when they popped out together, but that's okay. It allows me to tell you the story of these progressions. The Suit of Swords progresses that there's an idea and insight, and then you get to the stalemate of the Two of Swords. You know that this idea that you just had is really emotionally charged and you're not ready to deal with it yet. Then you get to the pop, the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is a betrayal. The Four of Swords is a mental timeout. The Five of Swords is a conflict card, and it's a really painful conflict card. It is the betrayal of taking somebody's phone. The Five of Swords is like you've been in a legal battle for 5 years and you just got ordered to pay your ex's legal fees after they took your children away. And you're paying child support, so you're about to go bankrupt. That's the Five of Swords. You don't have the Five of Swords, so that's nice. The progression, the Six of Swords is moving on. The Seven of Swords is also a conflict card about lying, cheating, stealing. The Eight of Swords is Toilet paper torture, self-victimization, believing that you're stuck when you're actually not stuck because you're relying on the outer world to dictate your feelings and emotions. The Nine of Swords is mental anguish, nightmares, being kept up at night, worry, fear, stressing, basically. And the Ten of Swords is, you're done. You are done. This is the Thelma and Louise card. When they launched the car off that cliff, you are done with this mental energy. And sometimes the only way to go through, if you're a really cerebral person, to get done with mental energy is to kind of have it like become untenable. So it's about to become untenable. And you're going to need to find other resources where you can find your strength, where you can change your perspective. And you do that by going within. That's what the hermit does. See his little lantern? The story of the hermit is he takes a lantern and he goes up into a cave in the mountains by himself for as long as it takes for him to know his heart well enough and what his soul truly wants out of this life well enough that his light, he doesn't even need the light anymore when he gets out. He doesn't need anything from without. He has it all within himself. And this is the journey you're on right now. This is the journey you're on. In your hopes and fears, you have, these are both your fears actually, and they're about your feelings. So again, this reading is really telling you, get in touch with your feelings, find a way, learn to meditate. I got put on bed rest with my second child, and I'm a really active person, so this was really challenging in the hospital, and so I really couldn't move. So my friend bought me an app called Insight Timer, and I learned to meditate, and now I've meditated for like 15 years, and it has absolutely changed my life. So let me encourage you to be the hermit, be the inverted tree, the hangman, gain your strength by going within and meditating. And as you meditate, you will slowly find that your fears of ennui, boredom, not emotional dissatisfaction, and your lack of self-love are going to turn into self-love. And they're going to turn in your outcome to the ultimate queen of love. Because once you have enough self-love, so much that your cup is overflowing, you can resource other people, but you can't do it from an empty cup of self-love. So your job is to find that self-love. A stopgap for your busy, busy mind is focus on work. And the Eight of Pentacles is a card about mastery. You're good at your job. You're good at your job. If you need a break from all the emotional stuff, go to work, do your job, be busy. That's fine. But you also need to take these times out that are like hanging over your reading, okay? You've got the Nine of Wands. You're already pretty burnt by the process. You're tired. This is the Wounded Warrior card. You can see this poor tree is bent over, but he's still growing all those branches, and he's holding them up. But the nice thing is the Nine of Wands eventually gets to the Ten of Wands, where you get to put things down. And indeed, the outcome for you is the Judgment card, which is death and rebirth, total transformation. You have the Justice card. The way I tell the difference between the Justice, you've got man's justice hanging over your reading, and you have God's judgment in your outcome. God's judgment is the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. They are souls rising up from the dead. They're literally walking out of the coffins of their old life and moving into the everything else of their new life. So that's what's happening for you. And you're on a journey. You're on a journey. I'm acknowledging that. But hang tight. You're good. Take time out. Learn to meditate. Learn to do art. Remember, that's what I started with. I learned to do art through this. I learned to do art in rehab because I had to go to alcohol rehab because I was ignoring my feelings and just only being tied up in my thoughts for so many years. I got in trouble with it, you know. I needed to heal, and it did heal me. So it's definitely an option. You can go to rehab and your insurance will cover it, usually, double check, but you don't even really have to, you just have to tell them you have trouble with alcohol. You don't even have to have trouble with alcohol because they're going to make you stop when you get there anyway. So that's a life hack for you. But dude, it's a way to get your medical insurance to pay for like 5 weeks out of your life, and you can get sick leave for it and stuff. So I would definitely recommend that one. Okay, pile 2, the lever is good for you. You made a decision to finally in this lifetime level up with your soul's purpose, which is to love yourself and love yourself some more. I wish you peace. Mahalo nui. Oh, pile 3. Should I stay or should I go? Oh, sweetie, you all have really shaky energy, all 3 piles. Yours is a bit less cortisol driven and a lot more introspective. Maybe that's why I'm giving you stones that encourage forgiveness and self-expression, building towers. We're gonna do your read, and I always do a shuffle, but you can always skip the shuffle in the timestamps. So I'm not religious per se. I mean, I'm obviously spiritual. I do this. My parents are really religious. So this is like a crucifix that was blessed by the Pope. And I feel like it's here for you today to remind you of the lessons of Jesus Christ, which are about forgiveness. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. When you ask yourself, should I stay or should I go? You need to think about whether you can forgive. And I think your reading is going to give us some messages to help resource you with these questions. So I'm just going to jump in, and I'm have to move your pretty things off to the side. Can I please, should I stay or should I go? Thank you. Can I please get the atmosphere? Should I stay or should I go, please? Atmosphere, please. Today's atmosphere, thank you. Can I please get today's cross current? Thank you. Can't ignore the truth. You cannot ignore the truth. Okay, can I get your passing away, please? Should I stay or should I go? Thank you. Pull you over. Oh, very nice. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Can I get the the near future, please? Should I stay or should I go? Near future, please. Near future, please. It's not wanting to come out. Can I get the self-concept? Thank you. Ouch. Jeez. That's a clarifier. Ow. All right. We'll talk. Can I get the Hopes and Fears card? The Hopes and Fears card. Should I stay or should I go? Yeah, you don't want to face some things. Ooh, you do not want to face them. But you can't ignore the truth. Can I get the Sky card, please? Should I stay or should I go? Can I get the near future, please? Thank you. Okay, good. That's a good choice. Laying down some burdens. I'm just gonna run your clarifier here. Okay, not working well together. Can I get the Root card, please? Can I get the House card, please, for should I stay or should I go? Can I get the path to the outcome, please? Thank you. Good. Can you get the path to the outcome, please? Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go? Path to the outcome. Oh my gosh. I had like 10 cards fly out. Oh my gosh. Let me keep them a little neater so that I don't get confused with who is who in your spread. If you are not familiar with tarot, welcome. Tarot is a method of divination where we work with the cards and with spirit to reflect back to you pictures that tell you a story about your situation. You are here because you want to know whether you should stay in your marriage and you should leave it, and the cards will give us a story that I can tell you about that. Having a PhD in ecology, I am a master of pattern recognition. Being an empath, I can feel into the energies of the situation and the cards and the people I'm reading for. Space-time doesn't work the way we think it does. So this is a timeless reading. Trust that if you're finding this reading today, the energy is showing up for you if the message resonates. So you're showing up in the reading. You have a lot of earth energy, which is the material, abundance, wealth, money. You're pretty balanced actually in your energy. You have a lot of mental energy, which indicates you're worried about some things and about to be kind of all done with some mental thought patterns. And you have some fire energy in your future. You're not quite sure about your passions, and the majors that you're coming up with are pretty major, but you didn't get a final outcome. I will take 4 cards in my outcome position until I get to a final outcome, and you actually had 5 fly out, so I'm taking them all, but at this point it's actually not decided. So what I'm going to help you with is in this reading is working through how you can think and feel and process what you're going through so that you can decide easier. And I'll keep doing readings like this, so you can always look at another one if you'd rather have a more concrete outcome than you do today. You're showing up as the Queen of Pentacles. She is the richest queen. She's the queen of earth. She's the queen of money. She has the nicest gown. She has the nicest things, and that is really important to you right now. Going along with this, but it's something I think you need to actually understand about yourself, is that you're showing up as the Empress. The Empress is all of the queens in one. She is the queen of earth, the queen of thoughts, the queen of emotions, and the queen of passion. And she can create anything. She's pregnant. She's all the abundance and everything. So even though I feel like you're showing up as the Queen of Pentacles and all these are, everybody has male and female energy. So I'm not reading for men, I'm not reading for women, I'm reading for the more like an Asian, like the yin to the yang. The yin is the more internal, feminine, receptive side. The yang is the more masculine, outgoing, executing things kind of side. So these cards definitely go together, but my feeling is that even though you're pretty solid in your like Queen of Pentacles, like you've got all the money and material resources you need, you're less confident in being the Empress. You're less confident that you are able to create this just from who you are, and more on the physical plane. What's crossing you is the King of Swords. The King of Swords is the ultimate master of logic, reason. He's in the upright, but he's in your challenge position. So if you're in a disagreement with the King of Swords, he uses logic and reason, and he's willing to use that sword to cut others down. That's how he manages his kingdom. He can be a very challenging energy in a challenge position. The words that are coming to mind are being word whipped, like you're being word whipped by somebody. And it's hurting you. It's hurting you emotionally, and you're trying to deal with that. Maybe you used to be able to work together to plan things with this person, and you were really looking forward to making your way in the world. and now you're really not seeing eye to eye. And it's particularly bad for you because you have the devil showing up in your self-concept area. So the devil is a card about control, addiction, giving away your power to someone or something else in a way that you don't even realize you've given away your power. You feel like it's been taken away. What came up in your reading, don't gross out. So I'm a firm believer that whatever goes on once I open your energetic space, which I do rituals to do that before I read for you, whatever happens in the reading is important to the reading. So I actually took a break and went into the bathroom after pile 2, where there is a giant cockroach that before your reading I saw. I mean, I'm a biologist, right? Like a field wildlife biologist, so I know I should smash that. But I don't have it in my heart to smash it. So I got a glass and I put the glass over the cockroach, and now it's sitting in there, and I noticed it as I was preparing for your reading, and I feel like it's an analogy for how you feel. Like you're feeling like you're that cockroach in that cup where you're not in charge of your own fate. The fact is, I could choose to smash that cockroach, or I could choose to free it. And you're really, you feel in chains about that. And I think that's how you feel in this relationship, that on the one hand, you're like financially stable, and that is really compelling. On the other hand, you feel chained to the devil of having given away your own control to someone or something else. Perhaps this King of Swords who's gaslighting you. The word gaslighting is coming up if I haven't said it already. I actually didn't know what gaslighting was until I left my husband of like 20-year relationship. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I actually wasn't to blame for everything. But they convince you that you are to blame for everything, and they convince you that you're the one that's doing things that are wrong, and they convince you, you're passing away the Ace of Cups, which is a giant overflowing cup of self-love, and it's in the reverse. As a reader, I do read reversals. I believe they contain twice the information. If the card is there, the energy is showing up for you. If it's in reverse, it's blocked or turned inward, or being used against yourself. So you deserve self-love. You deserve self-love, and you deserve it to be allowed to have it in all your romantic relationships. You deserve to be able to plan things with other people without so much friction and gaslighting and control. This card is ultimately about power and control. You feel like you are not, that somebody else is controlling you. And you're considering whether to walk away so that you can regain your own power. You have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a gift of wealth, in the reverse in your Sky card. So the way I see this, it's not how I would typically read it, but it goes to your Queen of Pentacles, is that you're trying to give yourself the gift of wealth, directed inward, by staying in this relationship, which has you in a financially solid situation. It's coming at a cost. It's coming at a cost. And that cost is your mental health. You have the Nine of Swords in the root of your reading. That is a card about nightmares, staying up all night, not being able to sleep, insomnia, worry. You're stressed out. You're stressed out, but you're not quite willing to admit this even to yourself yet. In your near future, you have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is laying down your burdens. You have been carrying around this conflict-ridden passion relationship for too long, and now you are ready to lay that burden down. The point of the cockroach story, if I didn't tell you what it was, because I think I didn't finish that thought, is that you can't control another person. You can only control yourself. If you think that you can control another person, or another person that you're in a relationship with thinks they can control you and is trying to control you, that does not work. So your goal is to find a way to change the dynamic so that you can love yourself again and work productively with this person. I'm not really going to say or else. Your hopes or fears is the Page of Pentacles. Pages are messages. Pentacles are wealth, material abundance. You're afraid that you're going to lose some pentacles. You're afraid you're going to lose some pentacles. And honestly, if you're about to go divorce, don't go into it naively. It is a nightmare, especially if this person is controlling, and that they will do about anything once they start to lose control to maintain it. Please be careful. That's my advice. Be more careful than you think you need to be. I don't really know how to fix it. I wish I did. I think the easiest way to fix it, honestly, is to like de-escalate it. If that's at all possible. In a lot of relationships, it is possible. Mine was such a nightmare, but I guess that's like my life path. But not everybody's is, and sometimes you can find these easier ways to like, everybody's different. Yeah, this is good. So your house card, you have the Knight of Wands in reverse. He's a fast-moving knight. He's passionate. He brings his passions to other people. He brings his passions to the battlefield. And I'm glad to see that showing up in reverse. So the lid is definitely still on this situation. You have time. You're thinking a lot about it. By the end, you're going to be all done thinking about it. You're holding back on arguing about it, and that's really good. And these are kind of your paths to your outcome. I'll pull you a different card from a different deck so we can get a little more insight before I leave you. You have the Queen of Cups on your path to the outcome. She is the most loving, giving queen. She will give everybody everything, and I feel like that's you here. And the problem is, because you have the Queen of Pentacles, you are a really loving, giving person, and you've given too much in this dynamic. And you need to take back your heart. You need to fill yourself up with self-love before you can give it to other people. Those are the messages there. Incoming, you have a Page of Wands. Pages are messengers, so likely you're going to get a passionate message from somebody else. Everybody's different. I can't know exactly what that is for you. The next card you have is the Six of Swords, and I love to see this for you. The Six of Swords. In the sword suit, the even cards tend to be a mental break, a timeout, a moving on, and the odd numbered cards tend to be where the mental worry and stress and thinking about something amps up. So you're going to take a break, get yourself out of the situation. I mean, the Six of Swords can be physically moving on to somewhere different. So maybe it's time for a weekend away with family, with friends, but not with your spouse that you're struggling with. Take a little break, take a little time out, use your mind to sort through the details of your situation about the money, and see if we can, it's hard for you to work. Work is here for you, but you're distracted from work by all these thoughts. If a relationship distracts you from your core purpose and everyday activities in your career, that's another sign it's not a healthy relationship. So, but it's there for you. focus on work, take a little break, mental break, go somewhere else just for a short time, see where that gets you about your perspective on the situation. You need to get out of this energy for a little bit is what I'm feeling. And sorry, I'm a really honest reader. I really do read cards the way I say it. Not everybody's gonna like my message, and that's okay. If it's not your message, that's okay. You've got me wanting to burn like so much Palo Santo because I just want to clear this energy. It's a pretty heavy energy in your read, and I can see why you want to be the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is like, hey, I'm all done. I am all done. I'm all done. It's the Thelma and Louise card. I am done with this pattern. I am done with these thought patterns. I am done with thinking that I am the devil and I'm just going to keep trying and trying and trying to please you in a dynamic where you'll never be pleased. And you've got the King of Wands. That's great. That's great. He's the most passionate king. He leads with his heart. He's very magnetic because he can draw people into him with his enthusiasm and his passions and things that he likes. So I'm hoping that's you. Actually, I'd like to see you get back into the things that you love, that you're holding back on. And maybe this Page of Wands is showing up to remind you. I mean, maybe the Page of Wands is somebody that could go on your journey. Somebody who is enthusiastic and loves the things that you love. Understands those parts of your heart that maybe this controlling spouse wants to change, and get there in your heart. So I'm gonna get you the Hawaiian Wisdom, a card from the Mana Cards deck. I love this deck. We get to learn about Hawaiian culture, and I'm gonna leave you with that. I have to read these cards. I don't know all the stories, but that means we get to learn together. And there's a couple that are just like the directions we have to pull out. Okay. Okay, should I stay or should I go? I have to shuffle even though my brother says I'm a terrible shuffler and I should never do it on camera. And I'm like, well, I'm not in Vegas, bro. I just go by how I feel and what flies. You'll see. If you follow me for a while, this is just how I read. That energy comes out for me when I ask. Okay, can I get for should I say thank you or should I go? Poi'ahu. Poi'ahu is my dog's name because I love the story of Poi'ahu so much, and you are about to hear it. We call her Polly for short. It's easier. She's an Irish wolfhound. She's awesome. I miss her. I've actually been in Hawaii for almost a month now because I can't stand the thought of going back to Alaska right now where it's been 0 for like a month and I can't ski because I blew my ACL this spring. Okay. Poi'ahu, the ice goddess. Her message is caress. E ho'i e pele I ke kuahiwi. Ua na kolili ko ina. Return, O Pele, to the mountain. Your jealousy, your rage are pacified. Yeah, jealousy. Control, domination, emotional manipulation, addiction, jealousy. Devil. Poi'ahu is the ice goddess, whose name means to caress. Poli means bosom, and ahu means garment. The snows of Poi'ahu softly cover the bosom of the 13,000-foot majestic mountains, Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa, on the island of Hawaii. Poi'ahu's home is Mauna Kea, mountain of white. Mau means always, steady, constant, ever, unceasing, permanent, stationary, continual, perpetual, persevering, enduring, and lasting. Na means calmed, quieted, pacified, assuaged, soothed, and settled. One story of Poi'ahu tells of how her skills in the art of sledding led her into a confrontation with the fire goddess Pele. One day, Poi'ahu was challenged to a sled race by a beautiful woman dressed in black. It was a close race, but Poi'ahu was winning. Then her challenger stood up on her sled, while her robe and eyes turned blazing red. It was Pele, the goddess of fire. Surrounded by sulfurous fumes, Poi'ahu began to head out of control toward a crevice that appeared in the earth. Pele stamped her foot and molten lava spurted out along the crack. Pele's leaping lava formed a row of fiery fountains directly in the path of Poi'ahu's speeding sled. Poi'ahu's sled plunged through the wall of fire, but a burning hot lava river raced toward her. Poi'ahu was unmoved. An icy blast of icy wind swept down the mountain, shivering the flames of the fire goddess until her fire fountains dwindled. Then a deadly lava river flowed toward the feet of the snow goddess. She flung her arms wide and split the lava river into two. The lava passed on either side of Poi'ahu while she stood calmly in the center, unharmed. The story concludes Pele never again crossed over Mauna Kea to Poi'ahu's side of the island. Poi'ahu's calmness pacified the power of Pele. Perfect. I'm sorry about the UPS truck outside. It's so annoying. I'll fix it. Just bear with me. Poi'ahu, meaning I'm going back to Alaska where it's a lot quieter, except for my dogs barking. I have two dogs, Poi'ahu, the ice goddess of Mauna Kea, and Uller, the Norse god of ice and snow. You'll see them on future live streams. Poi'ahu, they're both Irish wolfhounds. Poi'ahu is a snow goddess whose gentle caresses can calm the fury of fire. See, that Knight of Wands, you're holding that in, but I don't know that you're holding it in a healthy way, honestly. She teaches us how to be victorious in the most turbulent of times and situations. She possesses the strength that comes from immovable stillness. Immovable stillness allows your opponents to burn up their own energy while you do nothing at all. All you have to do is stand your ground. Poi'ahu appears to remind you that although it is difficult to do nothing, sometimes that is the most powerful thing you can do. Instead of fighting against something or attempting to change a situation, because like the cockroach, you can only control yourself. He can't control what I do. He is at my mercy, and accepting that fact is your... No, you can control yourself. A caress of stillness cannot be resisted because it resists nothing. This caress is a type of strength that even Pele's fury cannot overcome. The more you are able to caress obstacles with the strength of softness and stillness, the more you will find that troubles will just pass you by. And they may lead you to a more peaceful resolution of your current situation, whether that is getting these two wands to function, putting the devil in reverse, taking back your self-love, or a breakup that's far more amicable. If you can avoid the court system, please, for the sake of yourself, your heart, your mind, and your children, stay out of the legal system. Again, I'm not a lawyer and I don't give legal advice. With that, I love you. Good luck with your decision. I hope that you can walk in peace. Mahalo nui.